Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's the morning after the night before that I've recorded what you've just seen. And I wanted to add some context to it. I've just woken up, hence, but keeping it real with you. Definitely keeping it real. So I wanted to add a little bit of free flow to this. So the only way you will get through family court with success is if you learn from the past, accept what's happening, get through what you're getting through, showing owning your shit, being humble, showing sacrifice, offering compromise, being pragmatic. You do all those things selflessly, going through family court, whilst accepting and acknowledging where you're at. You'll get contact sorted. If there's allegations flying, then they will get sorted. The courts will figure that out, and they're generally right and they're generally good. And then you have to focus on just you and your kids, especially if she is not wanting to co-parent, especially if they're trying to alienate you. You can't fight back. You can't retaliate. You have to take it all on the chin, and you have to take them all high ground, and you have to do it all for your kids. You might argue, you're arguing for everything for your kids, because in your view right now, the kids should be living with you, but they're not. They're with the mum, or vice versa. They might be with the dad, and the mum might be chasing the kids. If the courts haven't given you your kids, and the kids aren't living with you at the beginning of the case, then you need to be putting the application in and making your position known that you are wanting the children to live with you. That doesn't mean the children won't be living with you by the end of the case. But I would say, and I would argue this, that you need to have a very strong reason to take them out of their habitat where they've lived all of their life, or most of their life at the moment. That's generally what's happened. People live in the same home for a longer period of time, and then they've got the kids. So is it in the child's best interest, if you're not living in the family home, for them to take them out of that family home to a different environment when their world is already mashed up already? If you take the emotion out of the answer, the answer to that question would be no, it's not in the children's best interest. If you're thinking emotionally and you are thinking selfishly, then yes, the answer would be it would be in their best interest. Whether you say it would be or whether you say it wouldn't be, you're right. There's no wrong answer. And that's why the courts need to make that decision. I'm not saying this is easy, what you have to do. In fact, it's not. Why do you think no one does it? Why do you think no one does it? You need to be treating every single court hearing as if your children are in the court with you. You need to be talking to professionals about your ex-missus or ex-partner as if your children are sitting on your shoulder. It's very easy. I've been there. I've done it. Get messed up. Let the emotion overtake you and say things that you shouldn't be saying. Speaking about your ex-partner in a way that you shouldn't be speaking about them. How would your children feel if they heard you speaking about your ex-partner the way they do, the way you are? You might say, well, they've heard us arguing. That's fine. But then it's not fine, is it? Because they've heard you argue and they've heard you speak about each other like that. How is that making them feel? So the sooner you can reach acceptance, the sooner you can understand and accept that your relationship is over. If she chooses to co-parent with you, it's a choice that she makes. If they don't want to, they can't. There's nothing you can do to force them. Then you parallel parent. And parallel parenting is just you focusing on the kids. And that's not ideal. It's not the best situation. But it's better than you arguing with her and trying to force her to co-parent with you when she just doesn't want to. And you're wasting more time being angry doing that. And the more time you're angry, the more you're teaching your kids how to be angry. Again, I'm speaking from experience. My daughter's 16. She's saying that she's angry. She's angry like most 16-year-olds are. But then you look at most 16-year-olds, they come from broken homes. They've experienced some sort of trauma as they're growing up. That's why they've got they turn 16 and suddenly something happens to their brain. And I'm sure in women it must be a little bit sooner because when you go through family breakdown, your children mature quicker. So they understand things sooner. They start understanding. And kids these days, they've got the internet at the palm of their hands. They've got everything they need to know when they need to know it. Whereas when we were at school, we were getting told, we were getting things forced down our throat. This is what we had to learn. This is what we knew at the time. Now the kids know everything a lot sooner. So they mature. And while when they mature, they realise, oh, my mum did this, my dad did that. And they have to come to terms with what's happening. And you need to respect their boundaries when they're doing that. Some of that might mean they don't want to see you as much. That might mean that it just might be phone calls and they'll call you whenever they need something. But nothing can take away the good times you had and those memories that you made. And if you didn't make those memories and didn't have many good times, then there's still time. Focus on yourself. Focus on making you happy. Focus on having inner peace. Focus on making those happy around you, and don't compete with anybody else. Compete with yourself. Only try and be better than you were the person you were yesterday. Only compete with you. That's difficult enough as it is. But you need to remember you're not wrong. Anything you feel, anything you felt, you're not wrong. Anything you think that's best for you, you weren't wrong. Educating yourself and then changing your perspective, that's human. Educating yourself. I didn't have the thoughts I had today 10 years ago, 15 years ago. My experiences have given me my thoughts. My knowledge has given me my thoughts. My daughter has made me want to be the best person I can be. And I know probably you want to do the same for your children too. And sometimes, in fact, a lot of the times, every day, I lose. But my daughter wins and she's happy. She's old enough to see the sacrifices I make and what I do. And your kids will do the same. And you know what? They'll love you for it. Because you don't have conditions attached to your love. You take that pain that they could be feeling and you protect them from it to give them their childhood, or as much of it as they can have. So every day that I lose and I take some hurt away from my daughter and my ex thinks that she's won, I've actually won because my daughter is the one that's winning. When I make decisions I don't want to make, I've made lots. Making sure my daughter didn't have a choice. Not have a choice, but didn't have to choose. Felt it okay. Made it acceptable for her to choose her mum. Tell everyone, after my first day of a 2-day hearing, Lila called me up at night because her mum made her call me, and she said she wanted to live with her mum. So I went to court the next day and said she needs to live with her mum. My first house, my only house, first homeowner in the family. The only homeowner in my family, to my knowledge, apart from my granddad or whatever. I don't know why that's such a big thing, but I made sure that she had it because I never had a safe place to grow up. So I wanted to make sure she did. These decisions, Lila now sees that, although difficult, were the right decisions because she's got friends that are now, their friends are now, parents are now separating. And their dads are taking the houses, getting half of the houses and blah, blah, leaving these children in a situation where their worlds are falling apart. Their families not, the parents they've known, these are like 14, 15, 13-year-old kids. All they've known all their lives, their parents are breaking up, and then where they're living is being taken away as well. And if you think that your children are going to be thinking nicely of you if you're doing that, and you wonder why they don't want to speak to you if you are trying to build a relationship with them, then you need to look in the mirror. Yeah, you're looking after yourself, you need someone to live and blah, 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 but so do your kids. And your kids love you, and they love their mum. And if you do something because it's not working for you, so like taking the house away, whatever, because you want half the funds, then you're taking the kids' house away as well. And you might say, well, they come live with me. They might want to live with their mum. Most would. It's the safety. It's the security of it. Like the mums, like female, like nurses and shit. Do you know what I mean? That's the sort of thing. Some kids might want to live with the dad, in which case the mums have to. But I mean, it's like that's how it is. But the sacrifices you make for the greater good for your children does not go unnoticed by your children. And I'm grateful for the sacrifices that I've made because my daughter knows, and that's what holds our relationship so close. That's what allows me to have banter with her that people find offensive. But there you go. So that's the only way you get through family court with success, by showing respect to your ex and losing your anger and accepting where you are and doing what you can to make sure that your children have as a stress-free, carefree breakdown of a family relationship and breakdown of a family as possible. You may find that not only does your ex respect you, start respecting you back. You might say, well, why would you want to do that? She slept with whatever. You're doing it for your kids. Do it for your kids. Everything you're doing it for your kids. Sometimes, though, you have to be a bit selfless, not selfish. Because what we do and what we look at when we're going through family court is what we don't have, what we've lost. It's being taken away from us without our consent. Therefore, emotionally, psychologically, we don't take that. Well, I didn't give you the permission to take that. Give it back to me. That's mine. That's a human being. That's your precious. That's your purpose. And it's being taken away from you, and that hurts. But then you have to find a new purpose. Sometimes, more normally it'd be helping other people because that's what you do. But some people it's painting, some people it's skydiving, whatever. And that's what you have to do. You have to find what makes you happy and start doing things for you. Stop expecting change. Stop expecting anything from her. Do things for you and do things for your kids only. That's your life now. And the sooner you accept that, the better quality of life and time you'll have with your kids. It's a fact. If you want help, support, or anything getting through this and get into acceptance, reach out.